we begin the third chapter of Operation X. Where we last left off, Shade had officially made it to where all investigations into what was happening continued. Shade continued to lead some of these investigations with great pride. It was that made the students even began to learn what Shade's actual age is. 17. He was also a final year student. But yet, he didn't act like the others. He did not care about graduating. He didn't give a darn. He had no intent to go to college. He'd rather solve mysteries. He says it had something to do with his bloodline, but he won't go into detail. And that's when a lot of teachers realize they were never given a last name for him. In fact, none of school records point out a last name. His family managed to actually get to where they could keep that private. Many people knew of Shade's tragic past of his father being killed, but it was quite clear he wasn't affected by it by now. It was quite clear he was no longer infected. He wasn't fazed. He simply naturally is a gloomy person who doesn't show much emotion. Except oddly around Ruby, where he gets quite talkative, to say the most, to be honest. He still shows a little emotion, but does, I find, quite a bit to show off his more cynical sense of humor. Meanwhile, Tana is talking to Tanya about how similar the names sound. They suddenly hear a scream. Them, alongside Shade and Ruby, who had also heard it, ran to the shed to find that Tom had been killed alongside his best friend and girlfriend, and all of them murdered in brutal ways using numerous bear traps within the shed. The murder was quickly reported, and the investigation of it began. Shade took a good look and asked Tanya and Hana where they were. They told the story, and many others could confirm. They just didn't simply hear it because all they did was see them within that area. They never really did hear them or hear anything. It was merely a result of them have headphones and earbuds in, making it possible for them to hear the screams. They heard. It was simply somebody blowing their nose, but it still has a good bit of humor centered in. Ruby and Shade continued on to try to investigate what was happening. Yet another animatronic from Dragon Arcade had been found. Grump the Ogre. The animatronic had so much of its synthetic, rubbery skin melted off, revealing the endoskeleton underneath. Screws put into the metal wiring and bars. The metal endoskeleton beneath. Even the fake teeth had fallen off, revealing the endoskeleton teeth within. It held a real wooden club, as the plastic one it had back in Dragon Arcade had withered away, and you could actually see its remnants around its closed fist, which now held a broken tree, which formed its new club. And it said in broken, jumbled dialogue, I'm gonna give you a birthday, It sounded so jumbled, nobody can understand it. They heard a distorted "shut up," but they quickly determined it was actually from another Dragon Arcade animatronic, Scratch the Man-Tiger, who was known for his distorted voice. They believed perhaps the voice box of this animatronic was damaged, and it took parts from other animatronics, including parts of Scratch's voice box, if not the whole thing, which might mean if they do encounter Scratch, he will not have much of a proper functioning voice box. The chainsaw came out from Shade, a solid shotgun, and a few quick moves. The ogre was dead. A few hours later, Tana was with her boy, as they seemingly were hitting it off. They walked into the woods to have some fun, perhaps seeing what was going on in the woods. All of a sudden, Shade heard a scream. Him and many other students that heard the noise came to see Tana in tears with blood surrounding her.